Welcome back to the show, guys. We are
Yes.
really excited for today's conversation.
Yeah, we have a guest that phoned in on a previous episode, Sammy Wagner.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're going to be talking about emotions and how they play a pivotal part in our lives.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So let's get started. All right, before we get started talking to Sammy, I wanted to have a conversation on something I saw on TikTok.
Yes, this is...
You're on TikTok? You're there, you're not there.
I'm not on... I'm there, but I'm not there.
Yeah, I send
I'm
you
in
things.
the room, but I'm not a part of the conversation. You
Okay,
know?
that's a good way of putting your
Yeah,
TikTok relationship. Anyway, I saw this TikTok and it said, you will spend 30 years of your life behind a screen. And then it said the average American teenager spends about 8 hours a day behind a screen. That's 1/3 of your day behind a screen.
You want something else to blow your mind? To add to that?
Tell me.
The average American gets roughly 8 hours of sleep a night, which there's 2/3 of your day gone. So the other 8 are spent in school, working.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're spending 2/3 of your life either sleeping or looking at a screen.
That's absolutely insane. Does that scare you? Like, we're raising kids. Is it going to get worse when our kids
absolutely.
are teenagers? Like, that's terrifying.
It's getting, well, obviously we saw recently that the Apple VR headset just came out.
Yeah.
So it's becoming where it's just going to be in front of your face
Screen
all the time.
day. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You wrote down the average American sleeps for 26 years of their life.
Yeah.
Yet we spend 30 years of our life behind a screen. That means we're spending more time behind a screen than we are sleeping.
They're pretty close though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just mind-blowing to me. Like, to spend so much time behind a screen, and I think about it, like, you don't even think about how much you're actually looking at a screen, from your phone to like an iPad, to like a TV, a computer.
Yep.
Like, in schools now, they use computers.
Yeah.
So, like, a screen is part of education.
Yes.
A screen is part of work. So no wonder we're behind
pros
a screen.
and cons.
There are pros and cons. Absolutely, there are pros and cons.
Yes.
But when you think about it like that, and you're like, man, I'm spending 1/3 of my day behind a screen, it's incredibly convicting.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with your time?
Yeah. It's crazy.
You gotta sit on that.
You know, back in the day,
Back in the day.
before there were all these things.
You're not that old.
We spent 12 hours outside.
Yeah.
No, literally.
We are trying to do like a 1,000 hours outside challenge for 2024 with our kids. And it is hard when you think about, like, that averages out to about 3-ish hours a day, just over 3 hours a day. And we're lucky we live in Las Vegas, so it's beautiful pretty much.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
A little bit windy. Like today is like 65-mile-an-hour winds outside.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get 3.5 hours a day outside. Yet it's so easy to do 8 hours on a phone.
Right.
Or behind a screen, not just phone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Get outside more. That's what we're saying. Just get outside more, put your phone down more, be with people more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into this week's topic, and we're going to tell you about our guest.
All right, guys, we have our guest with us today, all the way from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer on the phone. She is live in person. Welcome, Sammy.
Hi, guys. I'm super excited to be here today.
We're glad.
We're excited.
That we had the conversation season one, episode 1, to be exact, about Harry Styles and wearing an adult diaper. Are you still in the same stance?
Yeah, I mean,
If you had to, you would do it.
if I had to, I would do it. Now, I've been in that position where I've been at a concert in Pitt all day, and I didn't need to, but if I had to, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to a lot of concerts too.
I do. I already have 5 lined up for this year.
Oh my gosh. You'll be, when this airs, you'll be halfway through those concerts.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. Yep. So Sammy is from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and we did youth ministry with Sammy in Phoenix. We did youth ministry with Sammy in Phoenix, and she actually lived with us for a season, and so we got to see the Harry Styles fanatic in her come out. But we spent a lot of time around our kitchen table.
We did.
Yes.
And I would say we spent a lot of time eating dinner, but that's like second to what we actually spent time doing. Do you want to tell everybody what our common addiction is?
The most important thing I think we did in your house was play Catan. about 4 times a week,
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a night.
4 or 5.
Yes.
Okay, but the best. Tell them what we used to do. Like where we would move Catan to a certain place.
Oh, we get out the foldable table and put it in your living room, throw on a movie, and the kids would be in bed, and
Yep.
you're just around the
And then
the
tell them
couch.
why we did that.
I have the worst eyesight, and I know this. It's actually not that bad. I went to the eye doctor, and I found out my eyes aren't that bad. I just struggle to see far away, and I have an astigmatism or whatever they call it. And so I struggle to see certain things on the screen, okay? So we moved it to the living room because our living room and kitchen were, our dining room were in like one area, but the dining room table was too far from the TV
Yep.
for me to be able to see the movie properly. So I had you guys all move into the living room with the fold-up table. But it was some of the best nights ever.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, we are Catan addicts, that's for sure. We really are.
Yep.
So, yeah. Well, we're excited to talk with you today about why do I feel this way? This is the big question we're talking about. And we're talking about emotions. Like emotions is where we're focused. And we were talking a little bit before we started filming of there's this pendulum swing that has happened where like you look at our generation and older where it's like, you feel emotions, stuff them, conceal them, don't talk about them, keep them quiet, or process them in this way or whatever. But then you swing over to Gen Z and now even Gen Alpha, and it's kind of the opposite. It's like your emotions are your identity, right? And express everything. Do it online, do it in school, do it wherever, like be loud about your emotions. And I think we just need to get to this middle ground of it is really good to feel emotions and express them, but in this healthy setting. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, but we're going to start with emotions, where they come from. And really, scripture tells us that we're created in the image of God. And if we're created in the image of God and we have emotions, that means he has emotions. And so emotions are God-given gifts. And they're gifts from the Lord that he gives us to feel because we're human, which means he feels them. And so, yeah, let's just start there. What are your guys' thoughts on those things?
Well, before we dive too deep,
Yeah.
let's just settle the debate because I know everyone's wondering who's the emotional one in this conversation. Who
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
expresses or feels their emotions the most?
Yeah. It's not Sammy and I.
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
Yeah.
It is me.
Yep.
I'm most in tune with my emotions.
I'm in tune. I just express them
He's just
differently.
better
Listen.
than us.
And
That's
I'm
what
okay.
he just said.
No, listen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And that has definitely, we see that a lot in our oldest, Liam.
Oh my gosh.
He is
yeah.
very emotional. And I was like that at his age as well.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah. He is
But
teaching
it's
me.
about having emotions and knowing how to control them.
Yeah.
And knowing how to use them for good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he's teaching me. I was going to get at is he's teaching me emotions are good.
Yes.
And how we process them. Like I am part of that millennial generation that's like stuff them, don't feel them. And I find myself having to switch my mindset in the parenting of it now where I'm like, no, I want you to feel them, but there is a right way to feel them and there's a right way to express them. And so, when he's throwing a tantrum, and not even just him, all of our kids are in that emotional season, right? They're under the age of 10. So it's just a lot of emotions that they're feeling for the first time. And it's like, okay, you're allowed to feel this, but let's do it in a safe place. Let's not throw our bodies everywhere. Let's not freak out on everyone, like let's be kind still. Let's be respectful still. And so emotions are a good thing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, like emotions are a good thing. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it's finding the way that you would naturally emote too. Like not having, because we are, going towards the conversation of emotions are good and you're allowed to express them more, but not feeling like you have to express them the same way your friends do or the same way your family does. Like how God has naturally gifted you to emote in certain ways and how you get excited and what you get excited about and even how you process like grief and mourning. Like it doesn't look like the TV shows you. It doesn't look like how your friends show you.
Yeah.
Like how you want to emote and how you feel like you need to emote is like a healthy conversation.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Like God gave them to us. And we said this in a few episodes. It's something that like I live and breathe by, but like if God created us in his image, yet we all look so different, that means God looks so different like he is all of that, which is mind blowing when you think about that. Like you're created in his image, you look like that. I'm created in his image, I look like this. The same with our emotions. It's not going to be expressed in the same way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be felt in the same way. Like how you emote your emotions, you put that so well. Like how you express them is just so unique and so individual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the emotions that we see in the Bible that God displays, that he gives us as well. And like, just how we can use those emotions for good and not let them control how we react to certain things. Because, we see, all these emotions, and a lot of times people act on their emotions. They make decisions on their emotions, and that's not how God designed us, and that's not how he displays his emotions. He doesn't act because he is, upset. He doesn't, I would say the only true emotion that God acts out of is love.
That's good.
And we see in John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only son. He acts out of his love, and that's how we're supposed to act as well, out of love. And the other emotions, they come and go, but love should always remain. Obviously, we see that as well.
Yeah, that's
love
really
is the
good.
greatest of these.
Yeah. Love is that's such a good way of putting it. Like everything should still be rooted in love.
Yeah.
What is an emotion you see displayed in scripture of God?
I think one of the biggest emotions that I think we don't like to look at, but we kind of put aside because maybe it doesn't move you or put people in tears, but it's just how fun God is. Like he's excited, when he saw the crowd of 5,000, he stopped his personal time, and he was excited to see that the crowd wanted more, and he's got his friends around him, and he's always just doing things with other people, and he's actually a fun God. And I just think that's an emotion that when we talk about emotions, we just kind of put to the side, because it's you like to have fun, but it's no, we don't just have fun on earth because it's something that is humanly created. It is a God gift to have fun, and all the other emotions come, and I think those are more of the emotions that you have to learn how to walk out.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most important emotions is just an excitement and fun.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, oh my gosh, that's so good, because you're talking about everything being rooted in love, but then also have fun with your life.
Yeah.
It's okay to have fun. Don't be so uptight. Don't be so structured with your life that you forget that God is fun. And if God is fun, and if God felt excited, you were allowed to have fun, and you were allowed to get excited. You're allowed to get excited about things that you're passionate about. You don't have to stuff that down either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I even say that it ties into the emotion of joy, being joyful, and just having such a positive attitude about things and finding true joy. And we see that it says in the Bible that the Lord shall rejoice in his works. He is happy about us, the things that he's created, and we should be happy as well about the things that we create or the things that are around us. And so, having fun and being joyful in life is the way that God designed us to be.
Yeah. I want to touch on the difference between happiness and joy for a second too. I think that's really important with emotions, talking about why do I feel this way. Knowing the difference between happiness and joy is crucial. Happiness is a feeling you get. It's butterflies, right? Yeah. It's the butterflies. It's the I'm excited for this, that kind of thing. But the joy is being able to be content in the midst of difficult things. So even when you're angry, even when you're sad, even when you feel lonely, you feel no one's around, you feel all these things, you can still have joy.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference is I am sure Jesus was not happy going to the cross.
Yeah.
Yet he felt this utter sense of contentment and joy, knowing that what he was doing was for the will of his Father and for the salvation of humanity.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing when you think about that. Who would have joy walking to the cross? Well, that's someone that's completely content in their circumstance would have joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously one that is my favorite that you make fun of me for all the time.
I don't know where
we
you're
see
going.
the shortest verse in the Bible.
Yes.
We know
the
it.
shortest verse in the
If you
Bible.
don't know it,
It's
it's
gonna come
very
out at
simple.
some
2
point.
words.
Yep.
Jesus wept.
Yeah.
We see not a lot, but we see a few times where Jesus cries. He shows his emotions through his tears and his sadness. And, being, it's okay to cry about things.
Yeah.
And it's okay to feel sad or to mourn or to grieve. And a lot of times that's seen as a weakness. But, obviously Jesus can show us that that's a strength to have that compassion and to mourn and to feel sad and to let that drive you to see something, get better so that it's not a continuous emotion that you are feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, and one thing is really cool about that verse is it happens like right before the miracle, and you know Jesus knew that the miracle was going to be performed.
Yeah.
You knew he was going to do that, yet he still allowed himself to feel what he was feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's like while you're waiting for your miracle, while you're praying about things, you can have faith and you can stand on the word of God, but you're also allowed to feel what you're feeling in the moment. And I just think that's super important.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's such a good word, Sammy. Say that again. That was so good. Like, it is okay to feel emotions. I mean, yeah. So other emotions we see Jesus expressing. So we talked about mourning. We talked about love, rejoicing. Jesus felt the hard emotions, the heavy emotions, the human emotions, if you will, of anger and hate. Like, people don't think that God felt hate. Like, it lists jealousy. Yeah. I mean, Proverbs lists the 6 things that the Lord hates. That's the word that he uses across translations, right? Like, the Lord despises, doesn't like, hates these things. God feels those things. Righteous hate. Let's talk about that for a second, right? Like, I don't want to say like God hated things, so you can hate things too. There is a righteous way to hate things. And so what would you guys say to that thought?
Yeah, I would say obviously the biggest thing, something that we kind of live our lives by is hate sin, but love the sinner.
Yeah.
So like the idea of hating things,
Yep.
despising things that separate us from God.
Yep.
Those are the things that you try to, keep out of your life and guide others in their lives to, as a guiding principle. These are the things that you don't want to find pleasure in, and these are the things you want to stay away from. And clearly we see, things that God hates: a lying tongue, shedding innocent blood, wicked plans, false witness. Those are just some of the things that those pull us away from God's presence and God's love. And that's the passion that we need to live by, of staying away from those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that separates us from God is sin. It's the only thing, and he's he hates that.
Yeah.
He hates being separated from us. And what separates us is our actions, our behaviors, our sin, not us, not who he created us to be.
Yeah.
And that's so important to understand. So it is okay to feel things like hate, but in a righteous way, where you hate the behavior, you hate the sin, you hate the action, but you still love the person. It's crucial. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's talk jealousy for a second. Like, that's a big one. I think we feel that a lot, especially with social media being so prevalent in culture, And so, yeah, jealousy is a big one. God felt jealousy. So should we be allowed to feel that? How do we feel that? How do we emote that? Yeah.
I think that's it's one of those harder emotions to walk through, because you don't want to do everything out of spite and jealousy. You don't want to achieve more just because somebody else is achieving more. But I think you can also look at other people's lives, and if you feel yourself getting jealous, allow yourself to then dream big. Allow yourself to be like, okay, what is it about their life that may seem really good? And it's like, well, is it flashy things like new shoes or a new car, or how many followers you have on Instagram, or is it the relationship they have with their family and their kids? Are these God-given things that you're like, how can I dream these big audacious dreams in a way that can lead my life closer to Jesus, how I see people in my life live?
Yeah.
That's good.
You can use jealousy to see what are these things that you desire in life, and if it is the things of the world and it's the flashy kind of stuff, then you got to learn how to put yourself aside, and maybe that's not how you need to use that emotion.
Yeah. Dang, that's good. Yeah. It makes you check what is the core root reason of my jealousy. Yeah. Absolutely. It makes you think about that. I once heard emotions just described as an ocean, right?
Yeah.
You could be standing at the beach and you're at the very edge of the ocean and you feel the water come and touch your toes, right? And that's feeling emotions at the surface. Then you walk out a little bit further and you're waist deep in them and you're like, this still feels good. I can feel anger. I can feel this and all that. But then you're in seasons where you're in the ocean. You're in the ocean, and you are either being consumed by your emotions and it's pulling you out further and further in the ocean, or into the waves and you can't keep your head above water, Or it's again going back to that joy, like that contentment, where you're in the ocean, you're fully immersed in your emotions, yet you have this peace and understanding that in your jealousy, in your anger, in your hate, you still have contentment in who God created you to be. Like your emotions are still good in who God created you to be. And I love that picture because we can flail in the ocean all we want, but why would we want to if we can just truly soak and enjoy the ocean, be fully content? It's the same with our emotions. If we can be fully okay experiencing jealousy, knowing how to emote it, experiencing anger, but knowing how to emote it, experiencing love, but knowing how to emote it, like all these things, if we can be so content to be floating in the ocean of our emotions, knowing that that's how God created us to be, and we're not flailing our arms trying to overreact or trying to survive or trying to overexpress them or going underwater, trying to underexpress them or keep them covered up, but we can float on the surface and be totally okay.
Yeah.
Like that's the sweet spot of emotional health.
Yeah, I would even, correlate it. So obviously we know my emotions, they're up and down. You feel emotions, and that's like the idea of the wave. Like they come, they get high, and then they go back down, and it's okay to ride the wave.
Yeah.
And you see children a lot of times, they don't know how to, properly engage in their emotions. And you see children go from one extreme to the other by screaming, crying, and then being happy the next second. And, it's, similar to learning how to swim in an ocean. It takes time for you to learn and to develop the right strategy so that you don't get overtaken by your emotions, and your emotions don't control everything that you do. And a lot of times we try to swim in an ocean without a life jacket or without a life vest, and eventually our emotions lead us down a path or overtake us, and put us in a situation where we're drowning.
Yeah.
And we can look at God as our life jacket, keeping us afloat, helping us guide through our emotions, and making sure that we're safe.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
if you're trying to do it by yourself, you're going to drown eventually.
Yeah.
And, you have to rely on God. You have to trust and believe that He's going to save you. Just like you have trust in a life jacket that's going to keep you afloat, having trust in God that He's going to guide you through these emotions and protect you is key.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. What would you say to the next generation when it comes to why do they feel this way? Like, emote yourself, but do it healthily. Like, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd be like, allow yourself to be you. So don't allow people to make fun of you because you're getting excited about something. Don't allow people to make fun of you because something is affecting you in a way and you're crying. Don't let people make fun of you because you're happy and you're just like a joyful person. Like you could walk in, somebody could be like, "Why are you always feeling like that?" Yeah. And it's like, well, that's just how I am. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
And then I would encourage them to start learning early how to like control your emotions. Like because one day you're probably gonna have a customer service job, and a customer's gonna be really mean to you, and you're not gonna be able to be angry and react at them. So it's how can you focus on what you're doing in the moment, but then later go and deal with those kind of emotions in a healthy way. Yeah. And the earlier you do that in school and on your sports teams, especially when you're in competition and you're playing sports and you can get angry, allowing yourself to finish what you're doing and emote healthily after.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good.
That's
well,
so
thank
good.
you, Sammy. Thanks for being with us today.
Excited to be here.
We're going to have some fun before you leave. So let's do this. Let's have some fun. All right, we're going to play a little game. We're going to have some fun.
Let's do it.
Basically, I'm going to give you a word, and you need to correlate that word with another word. And it's all biblical based. Okay. Have you seen this on TikTok?
I have.
You have? Okay.
The
I
upper
pulled
hand.
different ones, though. Was it biblical based?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so you've seen the other one. You have not seen this?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. I'm going to give you a word. We'll start out easy, okay? But the first one to say it wins a point. And you might get this will count as a Catan win in our book, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Easy. David.
Goliath.
Well done. Do you understand it now?
Like she's going to give you
compute.
hints.
Well, I've never seen it or played it, so I'm trying to understand it.
Okay, I'm giving you. Like, here's another one. Wife.
Marriage.
Yeah, like you would whatever word I'm thinking. So yeah, do you get it?
Like she's got a list of words.
I'm trying to guess the second word that you have that correlates to the first word.
I don't explain things well. So that was really well. Yeah. Good.
Okay, got it. Now I'm good.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
That was all practice.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I don't
so
get
that doesn't count.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, cheating.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Wisdom.
Brain.
It's biblical. I mean, I guess they're Wisdom.
Gift.
No.
Truth.
No.
Knowledge.
Solomon.
Solomon. Songs.
David.
No. Songs.
Of Solomon.
Songs.
Psalms.
Harp.
Psalms. Good job. Oh, we're 1-1.
Oh, okay.
Harp. I mean, David did play the harp, I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Creation.
Adam.
In the beginning. Genesis.
That's 3 words. Genesis. There you go.
There you go.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
That's 3 words. Okay. God.
Jesus.
No.
Trinity.
No. He has
Father.
so many
Father.
things. No. You guys are on the same track, though. This is scary. God.
Creator.
What?
Creator.
Why'd you say it like creator?
Like Yahweh.
Yahweh!
Hey!
Hey! Good job. Okay. Eternal.
Heaven.
You guys are creepily on the same path. No. Eternal.
Salvation.
Forever.
God.
Okay, it goes along the lines of heaven. So eternal/heaven. That's a hard one. Do you guys get it? I'll be surprised.
Hyphenated afterlife.
Hyphenated afterlife. So it's one word.
Soul.
Yeah.
No.
Spirit.
No. I'll give
Saved?
you. I'll give you the first letter. It starts with a K. So eternal,
K.
heaven.
Knowledge.
No. That's a good one though.
K.
K. Kingdom. Okay, here. Last one. Ready? Follow.
Me. Fishers of men.
That's 3 words. Follow.
So it's not me.
No.
Okay.
And it's not fishers of men.
Jesus.
No.
Disciple.
Disciple.
There you go.
Well done. I wasn't keeping count, but I'm sure we'll put a count
won.
up here. Ding, ding, ding. Whoever won.
I think Sammy
Well
won
done.
that one.
I don't know.
I'll
think
give it to
Sammy-
her.
Oh, well done, Billy.
Hey.
He gave you a win.
Look at that.
Yep.
I'm gonna write it in the box.
Yes,
That's all you
right
get.
in the box. That's all you get. All right. Thank you, Sammy, for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been fun. It's been fun. So if people want to connect with you online, how can they find you?
Yeah, my Instagram's Sammy S. Wagner.
Sammy S. Wagner.
And that's what I use mostly, is just my Instagram.
Sammy
So,
Swagner.
Sammy Swagner. Feel free to DM me
Yep.
if you had any questions more on emotions
Yeah.
or just
That's awesome.
church and life.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again.
Yep.
We just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much for watching the Firebrand Show.
Yeah, and for continuing to support us. And there's a few ways that you can do that simply by praying for the Firebrand Show. You can follow along and watch the Firebrand Show, and then you can also give towards the Firebrand Show.
That's right. And if you want to learn how you can partner with us and invest in the next generation, just go to ctnonline.com/Firebrand.
Yeah, you can also follow us on all social media platforms at the Firebrand Show, and just search the Firebrand Show on YouTube.
Hey guys, we are on set today filming our new show, Firebrand.
Live this life where Jesus is seen. Be a light.
This is living and active. And if the Bible is living and active, that means that this is going to speak to generation to generation to generation.
And when I became real with God, God became real to me.